The North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO, announced the large-scale deployment of advanced air defense systems, the Patriot missile system, to the border between Ukraine and Poland. This move is seen as a direct response to Russia's increasing military escalation in western Ukraine and a strong signal that NATO will not stand idly by as instability worsens in the region. The deployment of dozens of these missile systems is not only a symbol of strength, but also part of NATO's multi-layered strategy to strengthen Allied air defenses in areas most vulnerable to missile or air attacks from Russia. Some analysts have called it the largest deployment of air defense systems by NATO since the Cold War era. Tensions between NATO and Russia have reached a critical point since Russia's large-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Although the attack initially focused on eastern and southern Ukraine, in recent months, NATO intelligence has indicated a shift in Russia's military strategy, which has now begun targeting western Ukraine close to the borders of NATO member states, such as Poland and Slovakia. Russian drone and missile attacks have reportedly reached the Lviv and Ivano-Frankivsk regions, cities just tens of kilometers from the Polish border. This raises serious concerns that the conflict could spill over into NATO territory, triggering Article 5 of NATO's founding treaty, which states that an attack on one member is an attack on all. The Polish government, which borders Ukraine to the west, issued a national alert in early July after a Russian missile narrowly missed its airspace. In an official statement, Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Kowalski called the incident a near casus belli. According to an official statement from NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg, the deployment of Patriot missile systems began in the third week of July 2025. The total currently deployed is more than 40 Patriot systems, spread across 3 strategic points along Poland's eastern border: Lublin, Rzeszów, and Przemyśl, cities adjacent to key logistics routes to Ukraine. This is a deterrent, not a provocation. We are strengthening air defenses in NATO territory to protect civilians and critical infrastructure from potential cross-border aggression, Stoltenberg said at a press conference in Brussels. The US-made Patriot air defense system is known for its ability to detect, target, and destroy a wide range of threats from fighter jets and ballistic missiles to high-speed attack drones. Furthermore, the Patriot system is capable of integrating with NATO's multinational radar and command systems, operating in real time. Although NATO is responsible for this deployment, military sources stated that the majority of the deployed Patriot systems came from the United States Army, US Army, and several units from Germany and the Netherlands. More than 3,000 US military personnel participated in this operation, including units from the 10th Army Air and Missile Defense Command, AAMDC, based in Germany. Additionally, the U.S. Air Force, USAF, reactivated an RC-135 reconnaissance squadron and an E-3 Sentry AWACS to monitor air activity over Ukraine and Belarus. U.S. President Elizabeth Warren stated that this deployment is part of the ongoing U.S. commitment to maintaining collective security in Europe. We do not seek confrontation with Russia, but we will not allow aggression to go unanswered. Poland is our ally, and any threat to it is a threat to America, he said in a speech at the White House. Moscow immediately reacted to the NATO missile deployment. In a statement issued by the Russian Ministry of Defense, the Kremlin called the move a blatant provocation and a military approach to what should be a neutral zone. Russian President Vladimir Putin said at a press conference in St. Petersburg that Russia would take asymmetric measures if NATO did not withdraw its troops and defense systems from Russia's borders. Furthermore, Russia has reportedly deployed the Kinzhal hypersonic missile system to an airbase near Belarus and increased air patrols by Su-57 fighter jets. Meanwhile, pro-Kremlin propaganda outlets on Telegram and Russian media outlets are promoting the narrative that NATO is preparing for a big war that could potentially lead to a limited nuclear conflict.